Thank everyone for being here this evening for tonight's meeting of the Berkeley County Board of Education, Tuesday, March 25th. I call the meeting to order. I declare that a quorum is present and that the media has been notified. With that said, we'll move on to our first agenda item number 2. Do I have a motion and a second for the approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you, Dr. Etheridge. A motion has been made to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Tonight's agenda has been approved. If everyone would please join us this evening for the opening prayer and Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, agenda item 4, approval of the minutes of the March 11th, 2014 regular meeting. Do I have a motion and a second for approval of the March 11th minutes?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes of the March 11th, 2014 regular meeting.
A second.
Thank you. Dr. Etheridge has made a motion to approve the minutes of March 11th. That motion has been seconded by Ms. Lee. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The minutes of the March 11th meeting have been approved. Now moving on to agenda item number 5, entitled Approval of the February 2014 Head Start Reports and Budget. Do I have a motion and a second regarding agenda item number 5?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the Head Start budget expenditures and the Head Start credit card reports for February 2014, revised GABI, cost of living adjustment, and program governance, human resources, management systems, and facility services plans, as presented in board agenda item 5.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Lee has made a motion. I will repeat that motion for the record here shortly. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Wright. Prior to voting on the motion for agenda item 5, please allow me to repeat this for the record. A motion has been made to approve the Head Start budget expenditures and the Head Start credit card reports for February 2014, revised GABI, cost of living adjustment, and program governance, human resources, management systems, and facilities service plans as presented in board agenda item 5. All those in favor of agenda item 5, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. Ms. Lee, Mr. Wright, your motion has been approved. The February 2014 Head Start reports and budget are approved. Now moving on to agenda item number 6, Legacy Builders. Mr. Franchini.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Thompson, members of the board.
Good evening.
As always, we have a lot to brag about in the Berkeley County School District. Part of our problem sometimes is narrowing that down as to what we can share with you. So I call your attention to your Legacy Builders for March that's in your folder, and we have handouts for our guests as well. First, I'd like to call your attention to the fact that we recently announced the top 3 honor roll teachers for the Berkeley County Teacher of the Year out of all of our wonderful teachers. These 3 rose to the top this year. They are Carolyn Mullinax of Boulder Bluff Elementary School, Lauren Reeder of Marrington Elementary School, and Heather Ducker of Goose Creek High School. And we'll find out which one will become our new Teacher of the Year on Friday. Also, a couple of years ago, the Berkeley County School District began recognizing our rookie teachers of the year, our first-year teachers. And this year we will recognize 28 of them at Westview Middle School at our Rookie Teacher of the Year Awards on May the 19th. And we will name the Rookie Teacher of the Year from the following finalists: Debbie Mangding from College Park Elementary School, Kelsey Krause, of Sangaree Intermediate School, and Jordan Addison of Westview Elementary School. And you will see the rest of the Rookie Teachers of the Year listed there. And we will be bringing these Rookie Teachers of the Year at an upcoming board meeting for you to meet them all. I also call your attention on page 2 to the fact that we have had an outstanding year with our League of Women Voters and the voter registration drive. We registered 650 young people to vote this year. That is a record for our school district. In fact, Stratford High School took it on as a student council project and registered 165 students to vote. So we're very proud of the work that they've done. On page 3, several of our schools participate in the Jump Rope for Heart program. You've heard about that over the years. It's an educational fund development program that is sponsored by the American Heart Association. And the program promotes not only physical education and provides children with knowledge of heart disease and stroke while raising funds for cardiovascular disease research, stroke research, and health education. Each year, more than 7 million children participate in this event. And we're very proud of the fact that many of our schools participate, but this year Cane Bay Elementary School students raised $7,300 for Jump Rope for Heart, so we're very proud of them. On page 4, we also always have students that are in competitions. I'd like to point out a couple of them to you. Our DECA competitions at the state conference. The business students from Cane Bay High and Stratford High competed in the State Career Development Conference. Stratford High School placed 14 top 10 finishes, 2 fifth-place winners, 4 third-place winners, and Cane Bay High had 1 second-place winner, 2 third place, and 1 fifth place. And you can see the list of students there. Also, continuing on with some of our CTE students, our Health Occupation Students of America, HOSA, our 2014 winners at the state competition. Students from Timberland High School in the State Leadership Conference that was held in Charleston. Student Savannah Youngblood placed first in medical assisting. Jokeese Wright placed first in nutrition knowledge test, and second place in medical assisting went to Caitlin Brown. Also, as many of you know, that annually the Trident Technical College hosts its Quest competition, and they had the 42 schools from around the school district, and about 1,200 students competed. We are very proud of the fact that many of our students received awards and placed, and noticed that in this, not only are there school level, but also individual competitions. And we're very proud of the fact in category grade 6, first place went to Marrington Middle School of the Arts, and second place went to Cane Bay Middle School. That's all for this evening, Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Franchini. That concludes tonight's Legacy Builders. We'll now move towards agenda item number 7, citizens' comments. We have a number of citizens' comments tonight, and so we'll try and move through these in an orderly fashion. Let me first of all please provide you with the guidelines for citizen comment procedures. Stakeholder comments are welcomed and encouraged. However, the board will not take immediate action on public comments at this meeting. Any person wishing to address the board must register prior to the meeting. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures. Comments regarding an employee or student other than the child of the speaker will not be heard in public session. Groups addressing the same topic should select one speaker. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. And finally, the board chair reserves the right to allot additional time or halt public comments that do not adhere to these guidelines. Our first speaker tonight is Deb Campo, and I'll make sure that I pronounce your name correctly when you come to the microphone. In the interest of doing this in an orderly fashion, our next speaker will be Deborah Bailey, or Baxley, and we'll get that name pronounced correctly as well. Ms. Campo, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, you did.
All right. Welcome. You have the microphone.
Thank you very much for your time. And I just want to actually pass on a compliment. I've lived in this region for about 35 years, and I've had a chance to work with many colleagues, some of whom are employed here at the Berkeley district, but also some who have been graduates of your school system. And I just want to tell you, I just want to congratulate the board on the caliber of the remarkable leadership team that you've been able to attract and keep in place here. You may be aware of their daily contributions to the success of your students, but I wanted you to make sure that you understood that they have made significant contributions elsewhere in the larger community where I have benefit, even outside of the school district here. I've worked with Amy Kovach before she was even employed with the district. She volunteered her time on the Excellence Education Committee at the state chamber level for several years. She received the Women's Leadership Behind-the-Scenes Hero Award with United Way after serving on communications committees and review committees and safety net vision councils and corporate leadership volunteer teams. She served as a mentor and a board member for the Metanoia Community Young Leadership Program. I served with her on the Original Education Foundation Board as both a board member and a fellow chairman. She has been involved with the Charleston Women in Business and received the Inspire Others Award over time. And of course, she's done the typical things that all moms do as far as Girl Scout leaders and PTA members before she was even an employee here. I also have had an opportunity to work with your Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Fancini, who is obviously well respected within the teacher, principal, and administrator communities, as evidenced by the awards he's won from those communities over the years. But he's also received awards with distinguished service with the Charleston Southern University. He has worked tirelessly on regional education initiatives that have benefited the entire region, and has received the Champion of Change Award for some of those contributions, and has served on recently on the Education Vision Council meeting with United Way, and I wanted to particularly make you aware of a recent award where he and Ms. Shelley Green were awarded the Ben Stage Above and Beyond Award for their outstanding United Way campaign coordination. These are all contributions that the entire region benefits from. This excellence in leadership can certainly be seen in your superintendent, Rodney Thompson, as well. The 10% increase in your graduation rate over a few short years, despite the challenge of a school full of children moving into your county every year, is truly remarkable. And I wanted to salute you for the wisdom you've shown in keeping this talented team in place, and thank you also for the many hours I know you put in to not only have your students succeed, but to contribute to the workforce that I'm involved in working in. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you, Ms. Campo. We appreciate you being with us this evening, and we certainly appreciate your comments. Next up is Deborah Bailey. Is it Miss Baxley or Miss Bailey? Bagley. Oh, Bagley, I should know that name. Miss Bagley is here tonight to discuss a crosswalk and red light issue. Following Miss Bagley will be Devontae Goodwin. Miss Bagley, the microphone is yours.
Okay. Is that all right? You can hear me. I'm a voter and a member of the Sangaree community, and we're having some serious issues with traffic there. We intend to also contact South Carolina Department of Transportation, and we're concerned about the safety of our children. We've had a number of crosswalking guards there, and they never last very long. Most of them will tell you that their lives are not worth are worth more than being a crossing guard. They just don't pay attention there. The drivers don't. This has been a problem for close to 20 years, and we're always told that by DOT that there's not enough traffic or there's been no fatalities. I and the group that I am with fail to see where it would take a sacrifice of a child's life to have the problem fixed. So we're asking if perhaps the school board would pass a resolution in support of a crosswalk there, something similar to what's on Dorchester Road. Either that or possibly even if a crosswalk is out, then possibly a red light. There's a lot of through traffic there also that come from 17A, cutting through so that they can get to the interstates. And it's just a real nightmare there. I personally don't have children there now, but I did. And just something that would help control that traffic. I think a lot of the problems also is because there is no traffic, no stop sign, no nothing there on Royal Road, that a lot of the folks just will not stop for a crossing guard. And we've addressed it with the Sheriff's Department, and it's just a difficult situation. So, again, we're just asking for a resolution from you guys, and hopefully we can continue on and have this situation fixed.
Thank you, Ms. Bagley. We appreciate your comments. Ms. Bagley, just so you will know, we actually discussed this situation earlier. We are aware of the seriousness of the problem, and we're going to continue to work on it. But thank you for your comments. All right, next up is Mr. Devontae Goodwin. Mr. Goodwin would like to discuss or to address the cell phone policy. Mr. Goodwin, the microphone is yours. And welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak before you this evening. My name is Devontae Goodwin, and I am currently the president of Student Council at Goose Creek High School. This year, Goose Creek offered a new class called Leadership. One of the traits that we reviewed this year is action. When a situation presents itself that calls for action, a leader must show others by providing the example. That is what I am here to do tonight. As leader of the student body, it is my job to be the voice of the students of Goose Creek High School. As you can see by the back of this shirt, that is our student council mission statement. After reviewing various articles in school, our leadership team has come up with a proposal. I know that as school board members, you face many difficult issues throughout the year, and your decisions on these issues may be hard as well. The issue that I bring up tonight will not be met with eagerness on your hand, but widely important to many of our students. The issue at hand is the cell phone policy. I understand that as soon as you hear those words, you probably start to cringe. It has been mandated for many years now that cell phones have no place in the school setting. Rightfully so, there are many good arguments against this type of technology in school. The biggest concern, I am sure, that cell phones provide a huge distraction for students because of applications like texting, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. While this may be, we want to shine a positive light on such technology and show you what others all around the nation are doing now. To begin with, just take a look around the Lowcountry. For example, Wando allows their students to use their phones during non-instructional time. They are able to keep a safe environment while allowing cell phones usage to almost 4,000 students. Wando was in a nationwide competition like Goose Creek, and they went on to win one of the $25,000 grants provided by State Farm because they had more access to technology. Furthermore, Principal Lucy Beckham stated that educators need to model what they are teaching their students. Her quote states, "If you sent me to a meeting away from the office all day and expected me never to check my phone for anything, I would have to find a way to sneak and do it." And that is what we're seeing our kids do. Telling everybody they can't touch their phones 8 hours a day wasn't working. Along with this, in December, Dorchester District 2 was fighting the same issue. We know about 99% of our students are carrying a cell phone, said Somerville High Principal Kenny Farrell. For us, it's a very uncomfortable feeling knowing that we have a policy that we're trying to enforce when we know all the kids are pretty much violating it. The board approved a proposal to allow students to use their cell phones before school, between classes, and during lunch. According to Live 5 News, the child period of using cell phones without a fear of being written up started in January. Let us start a trial period. A few years ago, Mr. Husky agreed to a trial period of letting students go to their lockers to see if they could handle this and still get to class on time. This had previously not been allowed. Students accepted the challenge, and years later, they are still afforded that privilege today. In addition, a column written in the Chicago Tribune noticed that most infractions were coming from outside the classroom. Assistant Principal Bill Walsh said administrators at the school began noticing most violations of cell phone use were coming from study hall, the cafeteria, and school hallways, not during instructional time. For this reason, they decided to take another look and reevaluate the policy, which is in the past prohibited cell phones and similar devices during school hours. Before I conclude, there is one more statistic I would like to share with you. I cannot speak for any other high school in our county, but I can provide statistics for Aglushik High School. During the 2012-2013 school year, there were 383 violations of the cell phone policy. Although I cannot conclusively state whether or not all 383 violations resulted in suspension, I can presume that at least half of these cases did result in some sort of suspension. If this were to be true, that would mean that 192 students served at least one day of ISS or OSS last school year. That means that last school year, these students missed a total of 69,192 total minutes of class. This is instructional time that they can never get back when all possible they did was pull out their phones to check the time or send a quick message to their mom saying practice is canceled. Our proposal is not meant to get students out of trouble, but rather to try and provide a new framework so that technology does not become such a hassle to students, educators, and administrators alike. You have a copy of our proposal, and I hope it can be a framework for change. This policy will hopefully prove that our student body can handle this new responsibility. Our place as school leaders allows us to help better our learning environment. We strongly believe that the new policy will have a positive impact on the school climate at our school and other schools across the district. The students at Aglushik High School are ready to lead the charge of change. Instead of running from it and trying to tiresomely control it, let's build a new chapter together. Thank you for your time, and we respect any and all decisions you choose to make regarding this matter.
Mr. Goodwin, very impressive case that you just laid out before this school board.
Devontae, I just would like to make one quick comment. The Bring Your Own Device policy is currently being reviewed by a group of administrators. They're looking at other school districts, and this superintendent believes if our students are going to be able to compete globally, we're going to have to infuse our own mobile devices into the learning environment. So we're going to figure out a way to make it work. And thank you for your comments tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. Goodwin, would you introduce those who came with you? I've seen a few of these shirts being worn tonight. Who's with you tonight? Recognize your folks.
My classmate, Mahogany, and my teacher, Mr. Waterworth.
Well, your teacher's done a job well done. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Goodwin, you will be receiving a letter from the superintendent. Please share that with your colleagues.
You don't need to hide. You don't need to hide that letter from your mother, okay?
No, Mr. Goodwin. Well done. Wow, that makes me smile. Next speaker up tonight is Mr. Terry Hardesty. Mr. Hardesty is going to speak to us this evening regarding the February 25th meeting. Mr. Hardesty, the microphone is yours.
Well, I really hate to follow that, but it's a fine young man and a great presentation. It appeared to me that comments made by district staff from the February 25th meeting were fully orchestrated by the administration. And some of these comments spoke of staff being unfairly targeted by people in the community and called them personal attacks. My colleagues and I have not attacked anyone. 3 people are under investigation by the Attorney General's office. 1 has been indicted. The last time I checked, not even Bobby Harrelson or Harrell could have influenced the Attorney General. The payment of attorney's fees to people under indictment, along with the orchestrated effort to blame the public for actions the employees took, leads one to believe someone is trying to buy silence. Even your law firm's own principal attorney, Mr. Ken Childs, is on record stating that attorney's fees paid by districts should end as soon as someone is indicted. I have to inform you that if you continue to pay attorney's fees for people indicted and under investigation, I will be back with a formal complaint to the Attorney General against individual board members. My question to this board is this: is this board actually running the district, or are the attorneys for the district and those under indictment and or investigation running the district?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Hardesty, for your comments. We appreciate you being with us this evening. Next up is Zach Blair. Zach, where are you? Are you here with us this evening? Come on up to the microphone. Zach, I received your email earlier this afternoon. Very impressed. I don't know if you've received my response yet, but I look forward to your comments. Zach is another one of our students, and tonight he'd like to discuss a plan he has that he'd like to propose about modernizing textbooks. Zach, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, respected members of the school board, like Mr. Devontae, I represent the student body, but I'm a junior from Berkeley High School. And I have a plan to both modernize the way we use textbooks and save money while doing it. The fact is that textbooks cause too many problems, as many tend to be too oversized and heavyweight to carry around for the students. In fact, many students are receiving back problems already, and I don't think that should be happening, especially to a teenager. At least not yet. My plan will more than likely relieve this issue. The plan is to distribute the textbooks to each student at the beginning of the course, and those will be taken home and kept until the end of the course, which then they will bring back. Each classroom will be given a set of simple e-reader devices, of that type, to which the only features are needed, which does not include internet, are 2 to 4 gigabytes of data, which should be enough to hold at least 3 English textbooks. The ability to select which textbook is needed, the ability to jump to certain pages, and the ability to highlight if a student needs to, and zoom in. When each classroom has a set, those tablets will stay in the classrooms at all times, and when the students are assigned homework or have unfinished classwork that need to use the textbooks as reference, they will have the books at home waiting for them, so the need to stress over lugging around heavyweight book bags and the issue of forgetting the books in their lockers will be relieved. As it is often debated, it has been seen that bringing technology into classrooms does not always improve grades. And granted, this plan does not guarantee improved academics, and it will cost money at the beginning of its execution. But this plan is guaranteed to make the student body's duties much easier and will relieve much of the necessary stress, including tardies. As for the financial part, every improvement is going to cost something, but that is the purpose of fundraisers. Also, going with devices with such simple programming and material is promised not to cause such heartbreaking damages to our budget as would the works of Apple, Microsoft, or even Android. And I believe I just speak for the majority of my peers when I say that this plan will be a great benefit to us, the student body. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Before you leave, and that's also a very impressive case. That's the second student we've heard from tonight who's shared some tremendous wisdom with us. May I have your permission to share the email you sent to me with the entire board?
Yes, sir.
And may I also have your permission to have Mr. Doug Cooper communicate with you? He has looked at this subject a great deal. He shares the passion that you have for this very subject. And so with your permission, I'd like for him to contact with you and continue to contact you and continue with this conversation. Is that acceptable?
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you, Zach. Thank you for being with us. Excellent idea. Our last speaker tonight is Miss Rietta Drinkwine, and I'm going to pronounce your name correctly if I mispronounced it. Your name, did I pronounce it correctly?
It's Rita Drinkwine.
Rita Drinkwine.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
thank you. Rita's going to speak with us tonight. She's going to introduce herself to the board as a representative of the public library. Thank you for being with us tonight, Ms. Drinkwine.
Thank you for letting me speak.
All right.
Members of the board, chairperson, my name is Rita Drinkwine. I am the branch manager for the Sangaree branch of the public library. I am just here to say hi, make sure that we are staying involved with the school system. It's a big goal for the library to make sure that we improve the support we provide to the school system as well as the access that the students and teachers have to resources. So we welcome feedback and suggestions from the board as well as the public. And that's all I had to say.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Drinkwine, for all you do. And we're very excited in Hanahan, by the way, for our new library. Every day we ride by it, my 12-year-old says, Daddy, I can't wait till it opens. I want to go see what books they have. So we're very appreciative of the work of our county supervisor, Dan Davis, as well as all the members of county council for helping us to get that library. All right, that concludes tonight's speakers. We will move on to agenda item number 8, entitled Human Resources. Tonight, we have an item for information entitled Vacancy Report and Areas of Focus. Dr. Levine, the microphone is yours.
Thank you. And good evening, Board Chair Murray, board members, and Superintendent Thompson. Tonight, we are going to look at what's going on in our Human Resources Department, where, of course, our goal is always to recruit, retain, and develop quality teachers, administrators, and staff. So tonight, I'll go through the projected vacancies, activities for this year. We're also going to look at a brief video segment, and we'll also introduce the members of the department, because if you don't know it yet, the HR department is one of the best and can compete against any HR department across this country, and I am so proud of them and so blessed to work with them. And I have Mr. Davis here with me. He's going to be guiding our PowerPoint this evening, and then at the end we'll also have the chance for you to ask questions if you have any. All right. Let's look at our areas of focus for 2013-14. First of all, we said that we would provide professional development opportunities that support instructional initiatives and professional growth for all employees. And I believe that we have done that, and we're just in the midst of certain things now, and we're adding to that. We're also enhancing strategies for effectively communicating employment opportunities and recruitment initiatives. And some of you have already mentioned to me what you've seen on our website as far as applicant tracking, or AppleTrack is the actual system, but it's an applicant tracking system, and we're merging some things now. So we are so pleased with the directions in which things are going right now. Here are just a few things with that first area of focus for professional development opportunities. The new teacher orientation, we do safety orientation, GBE, Pride, diagnostic assistance. We provide coaching. And I think if we counted correctly, Mr. Davis, 75 Sharpen Your Skills workshops were provided this year. So we're doing a whole lot of different things there, and a lot of it's just adding on to what we've done in the past. But one of the things that we say about Berkeley County is you will get support, and that's one of the things that we put out there as far as recruiting is concerned. Continued, we also have as our area of focus under professional development opportunities, safety net, the initial mentor training, Lead 3, where several individuals from within the county have gone on to pursue degrees in terms of administration, and also the LEDGE program, where we have some of our assistant principals participating because they want to learn and grow. And we understand that that's what it's all about, learning and growing. We don't want to remain stagnant in any way. So we're working with our administrators, but we also want you to know that we have training going on in other areas as well. And if you look at the next slide, we have certain specialized trainings provided through certain departments. For example, Head Start, CDEP, child nutrition, custodians. We have the bus driver training, guidance counselors, and I'm sure you've heard about the Jason Flatt Act, and there are a lot of our teachers who've already gone through that. Just for information on suicide prevention awareness. So there are several who've already gone through it, and we know it's only actually required for middle and high school, but some of our elementary school teachers are doing that as well because we think it's just good to have it all across the district. That's our belief, and we want to do the right thing for our students. And we also want you to know we have it for nursing, speech, various special education opportunities. So know that all of the opportunities that are provided in terms of, let's say, professional development opportunities are not just through HR. It's truly a collaborative effort that happens through all the departments with all the cabinet members in charge. So we want you to be aware of that as well. Next, we want you to be aware also of some of the areas of focus noted for communicating our employment opportunities. We all love email. And I'll be quite frank with you, sometimes when I send one out to the entire district and know that it's going out to about 4,000 plus employees, I pause for a moment before I hit send. So we're really good about the emails and posting the employment opportunities for all employees. You see the methods there that we advertise positions using varied media. You see our advertisement in the Post and Courier. In SIRA, South Carolina Association of School Administrators, Teachers of Color magazine, Monster, so every site that you can imagine. And I'll tell you what, Shelley Green's fingers are very busy quite often in terms of our postings. We also share information through the principal newsletters and also in the correspondence that Susan so wonderfully sends out at the end of the board meetings in the loop. So we make sure that we're sharing information there. We also want you to be aware of some of the recruitment strategies, and we'll pick up with this one again, the BCSD Teacher Recruitment Fair that we just had last Saturday, and we'll show the numbers for you at the end. We also do a winter recruitment reception, teacher-to-teacher recruitment services, and you can see the list there for Sarah, Project Create, Teacher Cadet Program, ABCTE, the Program for Alternative Certification, or as we call it, just PACE, Teachers of Color magazine, Facebook, Teach for America, and also college websites. So we want to get the word out there that we want great folks here in Berkeley County to teach our students, to work at any level with our students, so all staff. So we're constantly advertising. Now we're about to look at very briefly a video. The video is actually 11 minutes long, but we've looked at little snippets of it, and we're going to show it just briefly, some segments. And I want you to look very carefully because I promise you, you're going to recognize a few people in the video, and some of you graced us with your appearance, and we want you to know that we really, really appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and start with the first segment, and then I'll talk in between. We're trying to get the volume up here for Pass It On. Some beautiful music there.
Teachers who will come into the
Thank you,
profession and stay. We need teachers who reflect the population of the students that we serve. Teaching is the profession that prepares others for any profession that they choose. The heart of what we do is to prepare our students to learn and grow over the course of a lifetime.
And that's it in a nutshell there. You probably recognize her as well. She's one of our teachers and does a great job. I know, and I can attest to that definitely. And now we're going to move on to another part of that segment. And I want you to look and listen to what some of our young teachers have to say about how they got into the profession. And I have to say that part of this is focused on the teacher cadet classes as well, which is what you'll see as we continue.
And two, it's something new every day. They don't ever come in with the same questions or the same answers, and it's always different.
I decided to become a teacher because a number of my teachers impacted my life, and I wanted to do the same for children today.
I decided to go into education because I was fortunate enough to have many good educators, especially specifically in my elementary school years, but I realized that there are some students that don't have that opportunity, and I wanted to be able to inspire those students the same way that my teachers inspired me.
I wanted to become.
Okay, thank you. All right, and I just want to mention there, as Mr. Davis goes to the next segment that we have, we believe that everyone is actually responsible for recruiting. Not just the Human Resources Department, but we believe everyone in the district. And we can attest to that based on what we saw Saturday at the teacher recruitment fair, where we had several young people walk up to us and say, well, Superintendent Thompson saw me and invited me to attend this event. We also had several who could say that there were some people out there in the audience who invited them. And then the most important part, and what I actually loved about it, there were several students who came to me and said that they fell in love with what they saw a teacher do. And I can say at Hanahan High School, as the principal there a few years back, Jessica Clayton did the actual teacher cadet program. I had 3 students there on Saturday who said that she is the one who really, really encouraged them to go into teaching. And because of what they saw, they decided to continue in that. So just remember, we're all recruiters. Next.
I teach in Berkeley County because I'm able to use the connections that I made growing up here to help educate children.
I teach in Berkeley County because everything that was important that I learned to value about education, I'm now able to use with my own life.
I teach in Berkeley County because I want to make a positive impact on the lives of children and to help them understand that with knowledge there is power.
I teach in Berkeley County because I love being surrounded by our family, which is the school district, our schools, our administrators, our principals, and our teachers, and especially our students.
Right now I'm working through a graduate program, a doctorate in education studies, and I wanted to use that along with my experience as an English teacher to inform students on the pathway to engaged citizenship. Well, I came back to Berkeley County mainly because it's home. I grew up here, I love it here, but also because of the growth. Right now, Berkeley County is the fastest growing county in the state, the 14th fastest growing in the nation. And so there are many opportunities here. There's great change here, but there's still a rich history and legacy here that enforces what I do and who I am. Pass it on, pass it on. Pass it on.
The Teacher Cadets program is offered in every high school in Berkeley County. If you are ready to grow with us, then sign up and participate in Teacher Cadets, earn a degree in teaching, and help enhance the lives of all students in Berkeley County by becoming a teacher. For more information, consult your guidance counselor or ask a teacher.
Now, if that doesn't make you want to smile, I don't know what would or what could. We really enjoyed, the video was a collaboration itself, let me say that. Mr. Samanti from Hanahan High School, video production teacher there. Laura Gardner worked on it, and she's one of our ELA coordinators, and also Ms. McIntosh with the evaluation office. So we want you to know that is what some of our folks are going to see as we go out recruiting, and also, like I said, for our teacher cadet classes. They are so valuable, and even though there are so many in those classes who say, well, I don't know if I want to teach or not, or I don't think I'm going to go this path, I think some of what they're seeing in class might just pull them over to the other side, and we know that's definitely a good side when it comes to teachers. We'll continue with our recruitment sites and programs. If you look at just some of the locations and also the areas that we focus on when we go to those locations, but we don't want you to think that those are just the only ones and that we're only looking for people. For example, at Charleston Southern, music, elementary and early childhood, we take them all. We want access to them all, but we just know that there are certain colleges and university programs that focus on certain things, and this is where we draw the majority of our individuals from those areas. So if you see what we look for there at Winthrop, USC, College of Charleston, the Citadel, South Carolina State University and Claflin University, and also the Call Me Mr. programs. And I can tell you this year that we have made a greater effort because the Call Me Mr. program isn't just at 1 or 2 locations, it's at several locations across the state. And they should be having a conference that's coming up. I don't have the date down here for it, but I know there's a conference coming up for the total Call Me Mr. program, and we're using that as also one of our recruitment tools because we want greater diversity in our classrooms, and we know that that is one means by which we can get it. So we're recruiting, and we know it's about establishing relationships. So that's what we're doing. We're working on the relationships that we have with programs such as Call Me Mr. and also other colleges and universities. And the continued locations there you see for Clemson University, for example, special education, secondary, CTE, and middle level. Fayetteville State University, and this is a new one for this year, UNC Charlotte, and the South Carolina Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. And I'll tell you, we saw some great Palmetto Fellows, scholars, just recently at that particular conference. And also we have a working relationship with some other districts, and we're working with them to get to Michigan State to also try to fill some of those hard to fill vacancies that we have as we go through the year. As you can imagine, the science, the math, the critical needs area, they're kind of tough to fill. So sometimes we have to step out to try to recruit individuals for those areas. We also wanted you to see what we're listing right now as our administrative vacancies for the year. And we just listed them specifically: elementary, middle, assistant, director of data management, coordinator for students with disabilities, coordinator for fine arts. But please keep in mind, this is just what we're advertising right now. And if you were to go to the website and just click on employment opportunities, it'll take you to that applicant tracking system where the information can be put in and people can apply for the different positions. And I also want you to know that as of right now, and remember now, I showed you information about the LEAD programs and talked briefly about the number of students going through. We have actually cleared, at this point, 96 candidates who are vying for assistant principal positions right now. It's an assistant principal pool, so we've gone through that endeavor. We went through it last year, and we were actually able to keep some people on the clearance list. And now, by the time we finish and by the time we do the second round of it all, I am anticipating we will have at least 150 candidates on that particular list for vacancies. And remember, that's an assistant principal pool. Our next slide shows what we know right now, just in terms of what's been provided to us for anticipated vacancies for the upcoming school year. So don't get antsy about it. It's March, and we plan to have every single one of those positions filled come the summertime. The earlier, the better. And then for the next slide, also continuing vacancies there that we're looking to fill, and we just know in some areas that we just can anticipate where the vacancies are going to be. So we're doing this for our classified vacancies. And the great thing about applicant tracking or AppleTrack is that we can also combine the initiatives now for certified and classified. So we're trying to get rid of all of that paper. I think you heard some of our students speak about how we need to do some things digitally and electronically, and we need to stop killing so many trees. So we're doing it electronically. And now, these are our proposed areas of focus for 2014, 2015, and a whole lot of it we'd like to continue what we do and just kind of add to it and build to what we're doing. So we want to continue to provide the professional development opportunities to support instructional initiatives and professional growth for all employees. And we would also like to continue to enhance recruitment and communication strategies by further engaging in activities that will expose present and potential employees to the benefits of working in Berkeley County School District. And very quickly, we're going to look at just some numbers from our recruitment fair that was held at Cane Bay High School on Saturday, the 22nd. And if you look at the next slide, 350 attended. But I actually think it was more than that based on what came through our doors, and some didn't come through that main entrance, so we believe it was actually more than that. And we want you to also know that we did 180 pre-clearance interviews, and that's not just the HR department. I mean, the assistant principals from the different schools helped us, the evaluators, teachers, just so many people just stepped in. And I'll be honest with you, I can't think of a better place to work than Berkeley County School District. And if you all can't tell it in my voice and in the expression here, it's a great place, and I feel so blessed to work with everybody who's here in this district. So now I'd like for the department to stand. Will the HR department members please stand? I tell them I feel like giving them a standing ovation every day. They are the ones who people look at me and say, well, you know, I've heard the name, but I don't know who it is. So I just wanted them to stand tonight so that you can see them. And again, I have to just reiterate, they are an absolute blessing and just phenomenal to work with every single day. Even the challenging days, I'll tell you what, my good days outweigh my bad days. And I will not complain with that group. Amen. Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, with your black teachers, I know there's a shortage of them. Your upcoming projection, are you in the process of trying to get more black teachers in the district?
We're trying to work on complete diversity. Yes, ma'am. So that would include African American teachers, that would include Hispanic teachers. And if we look at it in terms of overall diversity also, I tell our principals to look at it in terms of males, look at it in terms of females. There are just so many different ways that we need to address diversity. So yes, ma'am, our initiatives are focusing on African American teachers as well as general diversity.
I understand that. However, I'm thinking that I would love to see more teachers to reflect the population of the school.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what
Yes, ma'am, and that is definitely what we're working on. I always tell people that teaching is a work of heart and it's also a work of science. And we went to some recruitment initiatives, and I think Ms. Rogers can tell you where we've attended some, the numbers where I believe at one of our recent ones, 35 individuals and 2 individuals out of the 35 were minority. And what we've learned also is that sometimes when we're recruiting, it's not just about getting them here and that's the only thing. There has to be some kind of tie is what we're learning, because we've done the research. We've studied to see why do people, or what draws minorities or any other group to Berkeley County. And what we have found is that it's the relational ties that exist. So that's why we believe that we need recruitment from everybody. And we've had some great people who've been brought to us that we've been able to interview and actually who've cleared, and the principals have hired immediately.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Levine, Mr. Davis, thank you so much. We're very proud of Human Resources. Thank you for your time. Dr. Thompson?
Yeah, I just want to thank you again and all the department members that are here. An outstanding job in our HR department. Over 4,300 employees, I think,
yes,
last
sir.
count. Major economic development in regards to our economy. We do have an influence on what's going on in the school district. But it is a huge undertaking. Ms. Moore, we agree with you. And Dr. Levine talked about several strategies that we're using to hopefully that our staff members can reflect the diversity in this school district. And just one last reminder, this is a series of departmental presentations as part of our strategic planning process. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Levine. I failed to give the audience the opportunity after the citizen comments to excuse yourself, so I'll take the opportunity now, if any of our visitors would like to leave us, we certainly appreciate you being with us. And this would be a good opportunity for you to make a break for it prior to going on to the next agenda item. And perhaps Mr. Goodwin and Mr. Blair could use the time to continue their revolution towards cell phone usage during non-instructional times and the elimination of heavy textbooks. But we appreciate our visitors being with us this evening. We'll give those folks just a minute or so. Zach will be in touch. Same for you, Mr. Goodwin. All right, this will give us an opportunity to move forward to agenda item number 9 under instruction and accountability. Dr. O'Gorman has an item for action this evening, the second reading of textbook adoptions for 2013-2014. And Dr. O'Gorman, I had an opportunity to go through the books earlier, and both the college prep and the AP U.S. history books are at least 20 pounds apiece. So Zach will be getting in touch with you as well. The microphone is yours, Dr. O'Gorman.
Dr. Murray, members of the board, Dr. Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Later on tonight, I'll reflect on why you let all those folks leave before I got up to speed, so that I could say all of these textbooks we have up for adoption have an ebook version that comes along with the purchase of that. I think as we go into the modern era, if you will, all textbooks will have that option available, whereas our older adoptions don't have it, so we can't go backwards and make those available. So, I'm with you. So, for tonight, I bring the second reading for District 6 through 8 ELA textbook adoption, 9 through 12 ELA textbook adoption, CP Honors, U.S. History, as well as AP U.S. History. We have collections by Houghton Mifflin for grade 6 through 12 ELA, the United States History by Pearson for U.S. History, and the American Pageant, 15th edition by National Geographic for the AP U.S. History.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. O'Gorman. Do I have a motion and a second for agenda item number 9?
You do, Mr. Chair. I move that we approve agenda item 9, the second reading of textbook adoptions as recommended by the administration.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Etheridge has made a motion to approve the administration's recommendation. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Wright. For the interest of discussion, I'll repeat the motion. A motion has been made to approve agenda item 9, the second reading of textbook adoptions as recommended by administration. Do we have any discussion regarding agenda item 9? Hearing no discussion, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve agenda item 9, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. You have received approval for the second reading of textbook adoptions. Thank you, Dr. O'Gorman. Next up is agenda item number 10. This is administration and facilities. Tonight we have an item for action regarding the Stratford High School construction project. Ms. Myers, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Thompson, and members of the board. Today we're here to talk to you about the amazing Stratford High School addition and renovation project. We are ready to start the construction of this very exciting project. The project team, consisting of the architect, contractor, and our capital project staff, are here to ask for approval on the guaranteed maximum price. This team has worked closely with the principal, Ms. Heather Taylor, and the vice principal, Mr. Jim Haynes, on developing a project that nicely dovetails into the current school. The team has put together a presentation showcasing the project and the efforts required to bring us to this stage. I am very pleased to report that the director of the Office of School Facilities, OSF, and the City of Goose Creek have both approved this project for construction. At this time, I'm very pleased to introduce to you one of our project managers, Mr. Bobby Bryant, and he'll introduce the other members of our team. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Dr.
evening.
Thompson, and members of the board. I'd like to take this time to introduce members of our team. Miss Emma Souter, please come up. And from she's from Red Iron Architects. And from MB Construction Company, we have Mr. Bill Cram, Mr. Bob Spire, and Miss Margaret Rush. They will be doing a presentation on the Stratford School. Bill?
Thank you, Bobby, and thank you, members of the board, Mr. Superintendent. I drew the short straw tonight because I get to follow those wonderful student presentations and your staff presentations. I have a much greater appreciation for Connie and Bobby telling us, you guys better have your A game tonight, because you have some talented folks here. This was our first venture into integrated project delivery, and it's been a wonderful experience. And I congratulate you for making the decision to go through this process. Working with this team, with Emma and her staff, with Bobby, with Connie, with the entire staff, it's just been a terrific experience. Just very briefly, take you through a couple of the items. Working with the stakeholders. We had community sessions during the design phase to get input from the community, understand what their needs were, and give them exposure to the project. Working with the staff. Connie mentioned Ms. Taylor, Mr. Haynes. Just been a great experience to get that input. Second thing is how the team approached the budget on this project. By having this integrated team, cost became, and estimating became an integral part of the design process. By working together as a team, we were able to make good decisions on behalf of Berkeley County Schools to get the best design possible and control cost. And the last part this allows is the bid analysis period. Once we receive bids from the subcontractors and vendors, meeting together to review those bids. Not us making a decision on our own, but involving the entire team, showing them all the bids, allowing a real participatory effort. I think it can best be summed up. Robbie Brax, our Director of Pre-Construction, isn't with us, but after one of the meetings, Robbie made the comment, excuse me, that's the way this process is supposed to work. A real collaborative effort. It truly was a unified effort. Quick project overview before Emma comes up and takes you through the project. Project consists, you can see the new additions, culinary arts, sports medicine lab, 12 classrooms, Coke classroom, and expansion of the cafeteria, and then some renovations to the existing facility, the lobby, kitchen, and cafeteria areas, and also constructing new restrooms within the existing structure. Emma, would you like to come up and take us through the project?
Sure. Thank you, Bill. Just to give you a quick overview on the project, this is an aerial site view, and the top road up here is College Park Road, and this is Crowfield Boulevard. This is Stratford High School. This is the bus loop and the car drop-off loop. So the site of the addition is tucked back behind the school. We did remove some trailers. That was done earlier. But here's the gym and the auditorium. The main entrance of the school is here. The cafeteria is right here. And getting into the floor plans, this is showing the new addition. This is the existing school, and the addition is going to sit nicely in that area behind the school. We're expanding the cafeteria. This is going to be a great addition to the school, because right now lunch is a little chaotic because there's not enough room in the cafeteria, and the students sit in places all over the school. So this is going to be great for supervising the students. The first floor plan, we have 4 general classrooms, 2 CTE labs, and we're going to have a really great space here, which is a new entrance by the canteen, and I'll talk about this in a little bit. That's just showing what we have. This is the second floor plan. On the second floor, we have 8 general classrooms, 2 toilet rooms, and a storage area. Again, teachers love storage. They tend to keep a lot in their classrooms. So getting back to the first floor, this space right here is going to be a great space for the school. This is a career and technology education. It's the culinary arts facility. The teaching kitchen is around 3,000 square feet. It has a teaching space within it with a teacher demonstration table. Thank you, Archie. An adjacent classroom with another demonstration table. It has changing rooms and an office for supervision, freezer cooler, dishwash area, custodial space, and dry storage. And again, that lobby space, which is adjacent, is going to be great for functions after school, awards banquet and that type of activity. These are the exterior elevations. These are the classroom wing area. This is looking at the cafeteria expansion, and this is before. Looking at the school now, and this is a rendering showing what the school is going to look like when it's built. And that's looking towards the classroom wing. So that was the 99-cent tour, and I really look forward to having it built and walking you through the actual built space. It's been a joy working with Berkeley County, and it's been a great, again, I really enjoy the integrated project delivery too. It's been a really good method of delivery. Bill?
Thank you. Anytime you get involved in a project that involves renovations and additions to an existing school that has a number of challenges, just want to highlight a few that we've gone through on this project. Obviously, it's a pretty restricted site where it's being located between the existing cafeteria stadium area. As part of that, we're having to relocate a lot of underground utilities, water, sewer, and power. As mentioned, we're connecting to an existing 30-year-old two-story building. Part of the code things that we ran into where the cafeteria expansion required the addition of sprinkler system for the entire cafeteria and kitchen area. 2012, the code changed, incorporating new seismic code requirements. During the course of this project, we were hit with some construction cost escalation. As the general economy has recovered, so has the construction economy. There's a lot of projects out in this area right now, and in one particular area we're seeing a lot of escalation is the heating and air conditioning systems. But we've dealt with those issues. And last thing, good team effort was working with the Charleston water system to eliminate a fire pump. The initial testing indicated we would need a fire pump. We asked them to retest after meeting with the team, and the test showed we didn't need a fire pump, substantial savings to the school district. One challenge that's not up there, which is a big challenge every time, and it's going to be our #1 priority on site every day, is the challenge of having a safe environment for your students and your staff while we're under construction. And that is our #1 priority. Some of the project savings the team was able to achieve was refining the control system for the heating and air conditioning to get an economical system that will still service your needs. The designers came up with a more economical way of getting a new serving line into the building. We analyzed the condition of your existing kitchen equipment and reduced the scope of new equipment needed. Traded some classrooms to get this culinary arts lab and the CATE lab, which were critical features of the school. Looked at some things on the exterior to find a more economical way of giving you a durable, functional exterior of the building, and worked to revise the fire lane design from concrete to gravel, which is what exists out there now, which saves some substantial dollars. Overall, through the team's efforts, and I can't stress that team concept enough, over $600,000 in savings were generated. Just talk briefly about the project bid process. Again, as I mentioned, some of the challenges. There's a lot of work going on in this market right now. This is a smaller project with many elements. There's several new schools out for bid, so frankly, in the construction industry, this is seen as a little less attractive project, but we worked very hard at getting the word out on this. You can see the solicitation we did through multiple media outlets, over 400 emails, over 500 phone calls, and these were multiple calls to contractors because that's the way you get pricing. You have to keep following up. Net result was we received over 160 separate bids for the project in all the various trades. So we had very good bid coverage, multiple bids on every package, every trade. So we feel very good about the results we got. One other piece that we made a commitment to the Berkeley County Schools was we work very hard on local participation. We believe that reinvestment in the community is extremely important in every project we do. We take it seriously. I'm going to ask Margaret Rush to come up and speak a little bit about our efforts.
Thank you very much, Bill. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Thompson, it is really an honor to have an opportunity to participate on this project. I've been with MBCon for 9 years, and I have had 12 years of working with contractors, having served as the 9th Judicial Circuit Highway Commissioner. I've had a lot of experience working with contractors, and so I'm looking forward to participating on this project. And I want to tell you that it is really a pleasure to have the opportunity to work on the Stratford project. There is a special relationship between me and Stratford. My son is a very proud graduate of Stratford High School, and when I go to that school and I see his name etched in that cornerstone, it makes me a very, very proud mother and proud member of this community. So I'm really looking forward to working on the Stratford project. Again, my responsibility is going to be implementation of the MBCon Diversity Utilization Program. On the screen are some of the components of our program, but I want to tell you that, and you're going to see later on in this presentation, exactly how we have attracted contractors that are going to work on this project. I'm going to be working with them to help assess their needs and to provide local opportunities for Berkeley County residents. We're going to be working with local, with the one-stops and with workforce development to make sure that the opportunities are available here in Berkeley County. When it comes to our contractors, we're going to do everything within our power to help make them successful on this job. We don't believe in bundling. There will not be larger packages than they could bond. We're going to be very sensitive about issues relative to cash flow. We know that small, minority, and women-owned businesses generally have difficulty with making one end meet the other. MBCon always has been sensitive to that. We make weekly payrolls available. We're going to do it on this project. We also have an in-house bonding program, and we're going to make that available. So we will do everything that we can to make sure that we have a successful program. For those that might have a need for certification, I just told you I've been with DOT for 12 years. I understand the certification process. Those who will be in need of certification, it is just a matter of a phone call, and I will simply take them through the process of getting them certified. So I am really looking forward to working on this project and to helping provide more job opportunities for Berkeley County. And of course, in our next slide, you will just see a shot of our outreach meeting. After a couple of cancellations, we were finally able to get it in. And those are just some candid shots of some of the individuals that showed up and that participated. So thank you for the opportunity. We look forward to working with you. And the team that you see here today is the team that you're going to see at the end of this project. Thank you very much.
And just to follow up on the outreach meeting, we felt your pain with ice storms and school delays because we had to cancel that twice on short notice, but still had a pretty good turnout. The last slide, the net result of this is almost 20% of the dollars will be expended, based on the current roster of contracts. We have about 20% will go to firms within 10 miles of the site and over 50% to firms within 25 miles to the site. And the collateral benefit of that, again, is when you bring firms that are based in this area, they hire people based in this area as opposed to importing workers. So we feel like this is going to be a great benefit to the county. Bobby, turn it back to you. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. They put another slide in here on me. Excuse me. Give you a quick update on where we are schedule-wise. Hopefully tonight we'll receive approval of the guaranteed maximum price. And assuming that goes forward, we will mobilize on site on April 3rd, start setting up trailer, fencing, securing the site. We currently have a pre-construction meeting with the contractors slated for April 14th. And then the magic happens called construction, and current scheduled completion date is March 31st, 2015. Thank you for this opportunity to come before you tonight, and Bobby, turn it back to you.
Thank you, Bill. the final slide you see in front of you is, I'm presenting is the project schedule, the project summary sheet. At the top of the slide, you'll see the guaranteed maximum price and what it includes. Building and construction costs, valued engineering items, additive bid items for the new HVAC system in the existing kitchen, and terrazzo flooring for the first floor of the addition. We also have a 5% contingency included. So in summary, we are requesting approval for a guaranteed maximum price of $7,636,560 and an overall project cost of $9,667,042. Thank you for your time, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. We've received the administration's recommendation, and could we get some light? Yeah, let there be light, and it occurs. Dr. Thompson, before I ask for a motion in a second, did you have any comments?
We can get a motion on the floor.
Let's get it on the floor and get started. All right, and I thank you, Mr. Bryant, as well as Ms. Myers, for your comments. Regarding agenda item number 10, entitled Administration of Facilities, Stratford High School Guaranteed Maximum Price, do I have a motion and a second regarding this agenda item?
Mr. Chairman, you do. I move that we approve MBCon Construction Company's guaranteed maximum price of $7,636,560 for the construction of Stratford High School addition and renovation project, and the overall project cost of $9,667,042.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All right. Do we have any discussion regarding the matter of approving the Stratford High School guaranteed maximum price? Mr. Obey, we can start with you.
Go ahead.
Oh, Dr. Etheridge? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would just like a clarification, if I could. I know when the board visited, there was a lot of concern about the size of the lunchroom at Stratford and the lack of classrooms, and that's what initiated our efforts there to place this project on the bond. But then as we go through this, I see now that we've got culinary arts, we've got sports medicine, we've got Kate included in there, and I assume that went before a construction committee of board members. But I just want to make sure that if that was the case, that we did not sacrifice lunchroom space, because it still looks small to me. And that was our initial need.
Who is best suited to answer Dr. Etheridge's questions? Ms. Myers?
We've expanded the cafeteria, so it sits about 670 people now, which is, if you multiply it by 3, that accommodates up to 1,800 students.
And what's the enrollment?
1,800 students.
1,800. Okay. All right. Any additional questions, Doctor?
What about the other, the culinary arts, the sports medicine, all of this addition? So was that added later, or?
For 14 classrooms as part of the bond project, and we did change a couple classrooms for the culinary arts because it was a more expensive space to put into that area.
Okay.
This culinary arts is much more of a teaching type of lab. The existing culinary arts is actually an operating kitchen, so it was something that the high school needed to expand their program.
Oh, I agree. They needed that and the sports medicine and everything. I just wasn't sure where the timeline on when they entered. I wasn't involved, but I assume other board members were. Give us the background.
The original proposal to the board showed the classroom space and the cafeteria space, and they were always separate. So we haven't impacted the square footage of the cafeteria or the classroom space throughout the design process. So I think your question was, did we impact the cafeteria space or the classroom space?
Yeah.
Both the square footage there has remained the same. Now, we've made some adjustments, a classroom versus a lab space in regards to the CTE classrooms. We had 14 classrooms, now we have 12 classrooms and 2 labs. So the square footage remains the same.
Well, I'm assuming a large portion of that 1.3 million in equipment for the classrooms and labs is for the culinary. So it was, you know, it's a little bit, culinary arts lab is a little bit different than a classroom.
Yep.
So.
A lot of that, a lot of the equipment from the old culinary facility is going to be moved to the new facility, and part of the construction cost is the moving of that equipment is put into the construction cost, which is the top line item. Now, I will say probably half of that number at the bottom is technology. We have to do some things to merge the 30-year-old building with the new building. We have to put new phone systems, new technology cables, new bell systems, new PA systems to make the two jive. So at least half of that figure is technology merging the two packages together.
Include your questions?
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Etheridge. Mr. Obie.
What's the total square footage of the new addition going in there?
It's about 34,000 square feet.
So that's about 5,000 square feet less than what we'd planned. When we did the original budget, it shows here about 39,000 square feet is what we were projecting. Okay. And what was...
34,000 square feet is classroom wing, and then the renovation space, the cafeteria, should be added to that. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
It's about 15,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what was the total bond budget price for this project?
We have a budget for this within the project. We have $10 million set aside for this project.
So this falls under the budget?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
All right, any further questions, Mr. Oh, did you get that last question answered? It
Yes.
falls under budget. Okay, any further questions, Mr. Obie? All right, anyone else? Nope. Just a quick comment. As a former high school principal, if I had a culinary arts classroom, I would have evaluated that teacher very often. Absolutely, absolutely. All right. You agree, Ms. Moore? All right, hearing no further discussion, we will call the question. Just for the record, the motion that was made by Ms. Swaby and seconded by Ms. Lee, just to repeat it for the record, a motion has been made to approve MB Con Construction Company's guaranteed maximum price of $7,636,560 for the construction of the Stratford High School addition and renovation project, and the overall project cost of $9,667,042. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Folks, the motion carries unanimously. Ms. Myers and Mr. Bryant, your recommendation has been approved. Thank you. Thank you for being with us as well, folks. We appreciate you. Now for agenda item 11, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Just have 3 quick announcements that I would need to make all of you aware of. The Teacher of the Year breakfast, Mr. Franchini alluded to our finalist. We will learn the Teacher of the Year this Friday morning, 7:30 at Trident Technical College. The breakfast there, so we invite all of our board members to attend if you can as we celebrate the 2014 Teacher of the Year selection. Also, on April the 8th, prior to our next board meeting at 5 p.m. in the district office, we will have our annual Head Start training. That's a requirement for our Head Start program where we serve over 600 students in the Head Start program. So that will be 5 o'clock, from 5 to 6, prior to the April 8th meeting. And one last item, as I announced at the last meeting, we had to reschedule our next and groundbreaking ceremony due to snow and ice and rain. So we've rescheduled that event for Monday, April 21st at 2:30. So Nexton Elementary groundbreaking ceremony, even though we've already broken ground, we're going to have the ceremony April 21st at 2:30. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. All right, next up for agenda item number 12 is executive session. Do I have a motion and a second to move into executive session?
So move, Mr. Chair.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you, Ms. Schwabe. All those in favor of moving into executive session, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. We now stand in executive session.